Get my hands on. Stream activate. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Whoa. Sad. Sad.
Like a light bulb went off in my head.
Where does this lead, Rich?
The hand clasping is especially.
Wow, you held on to that AIDS longer than Magic Johnson. Hey!
Like a light bulb went off in.
It's looping. Okay. I was thinking of putting this video behind the pig paywall, but then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Anything I read from Kiwi Farms really shouldn't be. I shouldn't be monetizing reading a Kiwi Farms post. It's a little sleazy. I don't want to say I'm above that. But I'm above that. I saw that. I don't know why. I actually went willingly to Kiwi Farms last night. But it wasn't about the Vic thing. I forgot what it was. I think I was like, I was watching some other videos and it just, the rabbit hole, I guess you could say, led here. And, also, there's, well, this wasn't related, but I mean, just the picture of him is I made this beautiful work of art. I made it with AI. Oh wait, no, Bing made it. I did Photoshop this sly little smug lady there, but in real life, he pretty much looks worse because this is real. Holy shit! They need to feed this into an AI for some kind of monster stuff. Anyways, I I figured this would be worth going over because it is basically news, and at the same time, nobody else who's ever going to talk about this on YouTubeTube, more like, is going to be honest about it. And I do think Kiwi Farms has some interesting information and responses to this situation. So the Vic Mignogna versus Funimation lawsuit thread, page 1109. This post was featured because it was the breaking news update. Judge Chop has re-ruled on the awards for Monica Rayal and Ron Toyi, and Vic now owes $376,592.93 in total to those two defendants. Vic previously owed them but $100,000 before he appealed. So he owed them $100,000 and appealed so that he wouldn't have to owe them $100,000. And I guess now you could say he doesn't. But not good. First, for some reason, there should be there needs to be some kind of rule or law named after the first reply to something being the dumbest. I was like, who, what, why, how, when? Somebody who registered just 2 days ago replying saying, not true, darling. Whoa. Hold on a fucking second there. Yeah. Whoa. You went there.
Bite your tongue. Bite it.
Vic settled with Monica and Ron. He agreed to pay them, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much every reply. In fact, there are many reaction emoji. You know how much I love emoji reactions. Wonderful. I recognize this one is dumb, and this one is mad, and then this one is autistic. I don't know why dumb. It looks like just a sheet of paper with numbers on it. I don't know what that is. I don't know why a top hat means mad or mad at the internet. I don't know. One of those Kiwi Farms things. Also disappointed again. Last night the confetti was working and it's off again. I think the confetti was because they got $100,000 for the Kiwi Farms lawsuit against Epic. I did a video about that. Didn't I? I'm sure I did somewhere. But here, I'm basically going to ignore this post because we'll be seeing it again in the future in many, many quotes. I'm going to just read a few pages of this. This isn't going to be a long stream. In fact, this isn't really meant necessarily to be a stream. As I said, I wanted to record this so that it's more of a content video because my streams are meant to be just me sitting around, hanging out, playing video games, goofing off, just, relaxing, chillaxing, something like that. Not taking things too seriously, babbling on and on for hours and hours. I'm definitely not going to do that this time. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Anyways, so I'm just going to read this thread, and it is 5:53 p.m. So in about an hour and a half is movie night because it's Sunday. Is it Sunday? Sunday. Yes. The first movie night for Black History Month. I believe either the first or the second movie tonight on movie night is going to be a little movie called Watermelon Man, and apparently it is what you think, and it's also from either the 70s or early 80s or something. It might suck. I'll be there. I'm up, so I'm going to be at movie night. We'll link to the movie night on my Twitter, on our Discord, that kind of stuff. If you're on shitposter.club or for any Fediverse node, if you follow me, or if you follow Dad, or if you follow SPC Movie Night, check that out. So I'm just explaining that because that's why I'm not going to do the usual babbling, sitting around, going on and on, derailing from a derail. I'm just going to read a few pages of this thread. So Sneedum and Feedum says, am I retarded for presuming there are going to be accompanying documents later. For where Judge Chupp, what it is a good question. What kind of name is Chuppapa? Explains how he reached these numbers. Useful mistake saying Chupp, explaining his train of thought. How are you so optimistic? In fact, that's what the rainbow is for. Optimistic. Here's just General Gunther just says, rot in hell, Ty Beard. We'll get back to that. It's also frustrating. I hope Ty Beard has to. Sorry for not reading the names. I'm sure you can see the names though if you're watching the thing. Yeah. Kino model choice. Well, thank you. I have a few of these Warhammer. I liked this one in particular. Yikes! I feel bad for Vic. Yeah, that is one thing. Also, I have made my statements about Vic. Essentially, that I always thought, going back through the old videos, if you've been following us for, since the original channel, you'll see we've always been saying that we think he's innocent. He admitted to cheating on his wife, that kind of stuff. A lot of that was never admitted by the people on his side, and the people against him pretty much act like he is a mass murdering rapist. So both sides have their narratives they want to push. And I'm just a casual observer, I believe is the clinical term. But yeah, I always figured, in fact, I had been saying for many years that if you're really a supporter of Vic, then you have to be, by inherent nature, against Nick Rekieta and Ty Pussy Beard, because they're not acting in his best interests. They're basically, I know this sounds like me just speculating, but I personally say, and I'm assuming, and what happens when I assume I'm right, but I'm assuming that Nick Rekieta and Pussy Beard didn't give a shit about Vic. They were just happy to cash in. That's all it was about. They were clinically indifferent, as one would say about the Frederica Bimmel situation. They were so sociopathic about it. Frederica Bimmel is a teachable moment, you could say, regarding this situation, but that's a whole other topic. Here, this mindless observer, is that also like? I'm not like that. I'm not like the other girls. I'm not like the other Chaos Space Marine girls. I am not mindless. I have a pretty mind. He says, I hope Ty Beard has deluxe platinum malpractice insurance. Why would you hope that? Why wouldn't you hope that he would just fucking be utterly fucked, no insurance, and annihilated, vaporized, blown out to sea? I don't know. I know that this is sort of, how you call it, one of them rhetorical questions or statements. Because his notary fuck up combined with deadline game of chicken cost his client almost $500,000. What a sickening end, having to financially reward the very scum who ruined his life. I know that we are not the only people. You know how I like to say, we were the only people who were ever saying this. Nobody else. But really a lot of other people were saying this. Even on Kiwi Farms, where they're almost completely in the dark all the time about everything. But some people on Kiwi Farms were like, Nick is just fucking over. People who actually supported Vic were not happy about the way Nick was fucking things up. The real money badger, Nick Rekieta, had proven. And here, this General Gunther makes interesting reply to what a sickening end. And he says, let's just be honest. This is how it was always going to end. Ty Beard was so incompetent with his legal malpractice that the case was unsalvageable. This was obvious back in September 2019 to the people who moved on back then, and it was obvious to Kick Vic, who will always lie about what happened with the lawsuit, because who can actually stop them at this point? No one. They won. That is especially sad. That statement does sink in how sad the situation is. And this is what I have been saying about Rekieta the whole time, is that the same thing for related stuff like this with Comicsgate, is that they hand victory over to the people who deserve it the least. And I could go on about that, but again, this isn't going to be one of those streams. So he continues saying, the people who weren't kick Vic, that were still involved for the past 5 years discussing this, were in varying levels of denial that it wasn't going to be that bad for Vic, myself included, but the damage was permanently done in 2019. No one really wanted to face it because it was that bleak. Once more, forevermore, rot in hell, Ty Beard. Here's another reply saying, man should have just paid the $100K and forgotten about the whole thing. And here, I was like, does he have $100K to pay? And I will say there is an element of, if you like paying it, just paying it is an admission of guilt of anything they want to say afterwards. Like, well, he paid, so therefore he is a rapist or something. Not that, not that it would be true, but that they would say it. The Kick Vic side or whatever. Yeah, here's Professor Dongs. I guess a different, unrelated to Sergeant Dong. Oh wait, no, was the other Dongs guy. Just really know as Dongs. Whatever. He says, "Fuck Rekieta and Ty. Can't wait for both of them to absolve themselves of even more responsibility for this than before. Completely destroyed this guy purely for the sake of the grift, which I fell for, and worse yet, Vic fell for. Ryle and Marchie fucked his career, but his counsel drove him and any chance of regaining credibility into the dirt." Dyer Cox, nice name, saying Nick is a fucking retard for even thinking about recommending Ty Beard to the case. This is all his fucking fault. Guys, come on, let's not be mean. Damn it, Nick, we lost the case again. Thanks for recommending Ty Beard, Nick. That was a great decision. Is that new thing called sarcasm? That is one hell of a profile pic. I am impressed, Hexcat. Big ups to Hexcat. A lesson to everyone that Rekieta has been ruining the lives of those around him long before he got catfished or started hitting the bottle hard. He's also been improving the lives of people who don't like him, or that, more importantly, he doesn't like. For instance, as the real saying goes, for everyone in the know, the people not in the know think that I am one of the original A-Laugs of Rekieta or some shit like that. I think somebody on the cow board, somebody screen capped that and sent it to me. It's like, here's someone on the cow board saying, oh, that Thomas Royloop guy is one of the original A-Logs of Rekieta. That's close, but it's the other way around. Rekieta is my A-Log. Yeah, it's true. And I've shown the evidence proving it already. So it's double true. Here's somebody replying to this Not True Darling person. I'm just going to refer to this person as Not True Darling. They should change their name to that. That would be pretty good. But they say jump in front of a freight train. Also, poor Vic. Damn. That was a great decision. It was a great decision for his buddy, Ty. Ty got the cash, those fat Vic checks. Got to cash those fat Vic checks for a good bit. Yeah, that was ultimately what it was all about. The same for Richard C. Myers' lawsuit. Don't forget, it wasn't Richard who started the GoFundMe. It was Ethan. And so when that lawsuit imploded, guess who kept the money and pretended to donate it to charity? This isn't Vic's loss, but Nick's loss. I think it's Vic's loss also. This is just the no emoji. A thinking emoji reaction, though. Wait, hold on a second. Okay. Boy, that's fun. It's so fun. It's fun to stream. Isn't it fun to stream? Is it? I don't know. Just hoping Nick, the drunken Baldo-wearing lawyer, ends up paying Monty twice this amount. That would be nice. Oh, is that also the optimistic, though? Oh. Honestly, N-word needs to just pay it and move on. Well, I mean, fucking... At this point, I don't think he has a choice, but also that should have been I guess the advice, not that he's taking the advice of Kiwi Farms. In fact, I'm not even sure how much he was taking the advice of Rekieta, but he was stuck with the lawyer, the incompetent shithead lawyer that Rekieta recommended. Fuck Ty and fuck Nick too. The pair of shyster cocksuckers should fit the bill. I do agree with that. I think that especially Ty Beard, Pussy Beard, should foot the bill. Fit the bill. Here, I'm hitting this thing, but I'm gonna go back to it. Better load. This is why I want to cover these things though, because Kiwi Farms sometimes hard to get to, hard to load, and this video will sort of serve as an archive. Here's from last night though. Just what did this guy catch? It is fucked. It's all kinds of fucked up. And I point out, and I'm right, the SWC curse, as usual. We made him drink out of the wrong grail. Looking like Michael Alberto. Holy shit. Sweep Berto bros. Here's a Cool Hand James. I hope that's doctored. Yeah, well, one would hope, but nope. Here's a Rekieta thing. Here's a Rekieta stream that, okay, yeah, this is barely loading. I should have preloaded all of the pages. You can see why. But at the same time, I covered the thing that I wanted to cover. I do want to go through at least another page or two of the thread if it will load. Vax damage, though. That's funny. There was another picture. What is it? Oh, Polyfrog. Yeah, thanks, Polyfrog. He spent all of his money on Rekieta's funeral stream. Again? What the fuck? Someone tell Drexel he might have AIDS. Yeah, compared to 6 months ago, not only do you see it in his face, but also in his shoulders. Yeah, it is, like, unironically, you can see that he was apparently eating food. He was eating food at the time. Guys, have you ever just eaten food? That fucking turquoise ring he has, though, is just kind of, I think that's the real curse. I mean, after the SWC curse. But it's the ring is like draining his life. Inshallah. I fucking hate alcoholics. They're useless in every single way possible. Yeah, the malnutrition, all of the delightful A-logs, all of us Rekieta A-logs at the Alyssa Clips channel, comment section, and so on, have basically been measuring, I haven't, but I saw the comments of people being like, he says all he eats is like one bag of Doritos, and then it's 1,600 calories from a bottle of vodka every night and that kind of shit. Just actually calculating his caloric intake and being like, he's getting malnourished though. Increasing catabolism of gut. Yeah, he is definitely a catamite. Okay, I think, yeah, okay, this loaded up. Good job, Rekieta. I hope Ty Beard has insurance. Don't forget selling merchandise mocking the fact that he lost the the t-shirts, which we will we'll get into that if that loads. Frankly, that shirt alone should have him disbarred. Like it's look out for saying that though, because Spectre wants to join the chat and tell you about how he can't be disbarred just for making that shirt. What happened? Oh, yeah, that's right. He disappeared. Oh, yeah, and so did the other mod, stenograph. There should be a sternograph. Guys, we need sternographs to measure how much sterno that one guy from Andromeda strain was... he was drinking it, or he was like, was he filtering the alcohol through? I don't know how people do sterno. People only use sterno to actually light things and heat things now. People are like, what do you mean using sterno to get drunk? What is that? What does it mean? Man, that was a great book. I'm referencing the book specifically. But it was why that old guy was still alive. The crying baby and the old guy who drank sterno were the only people still alive in the town. That's very interesting and very important. Certainly more important than anything I'm looking at on the screen right now. But Here's this guy saying, "This is what you get for trusting Nick." And in response to "Not true, darling," "You seem to be retarded, but Null isn't paying Ty Beard. He's the one who fucked up Vic's case. Null fucked up." Oh, Ty Beard did. Here's this also as Ty Beard blocking his fucking Twitter. "That's too bad because I would definitely be replying to him and tagging him right now." As he deserves. It's Jover. If such things exist, I believe Vic Mignogna is just cursed at this point. Not even sure if it's that. It's not even a curse. Some of the things are his fault, and he did admit to that. But again, that is another topic at this point, and I don't actually even know that much about it. I just know that he did an admission, not to the accusation, but just generally to a lot of the rumors about how he was trying to fuck fans at conventions for years and years or something like that. Again, other people should do digging. But that's the thing, like, you know what? Let me derail. I deserve to derail just once. I got in my recommended, the wonderful, wonderful treasure that is YouTube recommended tab. It was a video about how Law and Order is against your freedoms. And I'm like, yeah, get them. It was an hour long, and it's like, white man video essay. Don't mind if you do. So I watch it, and 10 minutes in, it is just pure shit libbery. And I'm like, very sad. I felt sad. Guys, I don't like feeling sad. But that's the thing, is that, like, is that all it can ever come down to is, oh, a leftist says this. And it's like, well, fucking who cares about leftists? And it's like, so when it comes to Vic, the only people who will admit that Vic ever did anything wrong is the Kick Vic side, who will just lie about him anyways and pile on a bunch of made up bullshit and tie it together with fucking toxic masculinity and that kind of horse shit. But meanwhile, then the other side will just, even though Rekieta, like, as played that clip earlier, that old clip too of Rekieta just having a bizarre crying baby bitch faggot whiny meltdown, about how Rekieta wasn't getting enough credit for defending Vic, and Vic was getting too much credit for being falsely accused of rape, basically. But yeah, it's like the only people who will be on Vic's side will basically never admit that Vic ever did anything. They'll act like Vic is a saint who is a virgin, who has only been with his wife, and they believe the great popular modern lie of the concept of the wholesome Christian marriage, where they've never had sex with anyone else, that they've only had sex once to have a child, or once for each child, and anything else doesn't exist and isn't possible. Even one of the guys on the previous page of this thread said that, you know, they fell for it. That was the point, though, was to fall for it. That the nature of the YouTuber, the Udin-tuber, the Leech-tuber, whatever you want to call it, is to sell you, essentially yourself, to sell you what you want to believe. They tell you what you already want to believe, and they're like, I will keep telling you this thing. Give me money to do it. That is for sure, but it's bad to do that. And speaking of which, do you notice the links are the links actually there? They are. Okay. But my point is that it's always one or the other. It's never somebody admitting to the entire story. That's why I even brought up that Law and Order. I was like, oh yeah, get them. Trash Law and Order. Tell me about how dumb Law and Order is. Use some examples from the show. And it was just like, it's propaganda about how they're fucking oppressing minority. Cops in real life are oppressing minorities. And they said that Law and Order was whitewashing police abuse and brutality and that kind of shit. It was basically like a fucking, some kind of Canadian honky version of fucking H-Bomber guy doing some video essay. So I after 20 minutes, I was like, okay, I know this isn't getting better. I know that a lot of people would say, well, you can't know unless you've seen the whole thing. That's how people judge comic books and fucking gay movies and shit. You don't know if you haven't seen the whole thing. Shut up. Yes, I do. I can judge a book by its cover. You know why? Because I am what Nietzsche would refer to as the overman, if you will. Pure Hyperborean, the purest form of Hyperborean. A2, the mystery eye color, which is actually green, as you can see, which is the best. That's actually the most Hyperborean. That's the most Aryan. Most people don't know that. I do. It's important to learn a lesson. Time to learn. This is a teachable moment. The next post says, poor Vic, I was about to say that at least he got to eat Monica, but quickly realized that's a punishment in and of itself. Whores the lot of them. Why is the world so very much infested with repugnant whores, especially of the Western kind? Something needs to be done about them so that we may save fine men from their whorish shenanigans. Why is this tagged as dumb? There's some insight, perhaps. Although, did he actually fucking fuck Monica or Ryle, whatever? I don't know. Baldo, get in touch with me. I'm your biggest advocate. Looks like we lost again, Nick. Tiebeard, 2018. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? And it is important to keep in mind they laughed about that. Ricada and Ty laughed about that while Vic was getting fucked over, and all of you people supporting Vic were getting absolutely fucked over. You need to hold e-celebs accountable. Any worship of any e-celeb is morally incorrect. You are a bad person for doing it. Regain your soul. Become a human again. That's my advice. I think this, in a way, is an example of people sort of regaining their soul, though, and at least coming to a realization, a noticing, if you will. Both Vic and all of us got wrapped up in Ricada and Ty's grifting. How easy is it to just fucking get wrapped up in grifting, though? Why not just identify that it's grifting? I mean, I understand that you want to support Vic, but you have to see if somebody's benefiting more than Vic and then getting mad. You need to jump on that right away. And I understand why people don't, because it takes moral courage, which most people just don't have. And I do. But again, that's not the point of this. I can brag about that in many, 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 many other videos. Believe me. But the thing is that the truth is that if you did start calling out Nick in 2019, he would use his fan base against you. So I do understand why people wouldn't want to do that, or at least why they wouldn't publicly, vocally do it. But all I'm saying is that you should, or you should have, or more specifically, that you should have listened to shitty webcomics. But Vic is now ruined, and he has to be a slave to objectively awful people, all because of Ty Beard and his pussyfooting retard games. Vic deserved justice, and if not that, at least some kind of relief from all the bullshit he had to deal with. And all while this is going on, Rackets is allegedly sucking middle-aged man cock right now. I don't know about allegedly, but you know, anyways. Hero's happy to hear Vic in the Overlord dub. Ugh, what a shit show. Can we at least crowdfund some money for him? I mean, that already happened. You know how that turned out. Here's somebody just saying, get fucked, Vic. Get fuck heck, Vic. You piece of shit pedo creep. He's a pedo now? I don't think he was even accused of that. Then again, everyone's a pedo on the internet now. Everyone who's ever done anything on the internet is a pedo. Sometimes the bad guys win. Rest this hurts. Is this what you're listening to make yourself... Green Day? I don't want to call this guy gay. Here's the next post. If Ty Beard had any sense of decency, he'd fall on his sword and pay those fees on Vic's behalf. Optimistic, I know. And here's the thing that says optimistic. I do agree with this. Absolutely. He should pay. Hasn't he promised something to that extent? I don't know. I mean, I do. Here's the thing. I'm really a complete outsider to this. The only opinion I had is that, in general, Vic was innocent. That's all I ever said. And as a result of that, oddly enough, I had Nick Recato personally say that I was, in fact, this specifically.
Because of people like you!
That's Nick accusing me of being Kick Vic or anti-Vic. And I was like, how exactly am I anti-Vic? Especially after, at least in our videos, we've said, I've never said anything against him, aside from the fact that he is apparently admitted to trying to fuck fans, and apparently a bunch of the rumors were true, according to him. But that is the thing, is that Nick is not going to admit most of that, even though he drunkenly sort of did without actually. He vague posted about it in a way. But here, the next post, he just has to cough up some money. It's sad, but I hope he got a malpractice settlement out of Beardo. Do you think he'd have to had agreed to that if he couldn't pay it? I don't know about that, because I mean that almost seems hopeful as well, but maybe it's true. How does one usually pay this down? Can you pay someone an amount every month? A payment plan. I'd be suicidal if I owned 300K though. Lol. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. Here's God, I hate Recato and Beard. Both of these shysters should never be trusted with a case again. Chup is a massive faggot as well. But Ty should honestly have his license revoked for trying to play chicken with court deadlines and ending up getting his client on the line for nearly $500,000. Yeah, well, it is Neil. Normally I'd be like, I don't know. That sounds a little harsh, but it's Neil Breen. So I think Neil Breen does tend to make a good point. The dude is a millionaire, so he probably just writes a check. Is that true also? Is he actually a millionaire, or is this part of, like, at this point, I just have to automatically assume a lot of the people saying positive things about Vic and how Vic is going to be fine are just people who are not capable of believing anything negative about Vic, regardless of the situation or context or anything. Does this include the money he owes Jamie in Funimation, or will even more costs be tacked on later? That's an interesting statement. And as another post later on apparently mentions, that yes, that is on top of other costs. So he owes more than $400,000. But I'll try to get to that before wrapping up the story. This is going to be a short one because I'm just covering the reading of the thread. He can always 1,000 times his money on Keno and Plinko and pay that money back easily. True, if he gambles 1,000 times on $1,000, then he will pay them and have 600K. That sounds like a good idea. You don't want to quit before you win. Now, I understand that Ty fucked up the lawsuit, but isn't the point of an appeal that you get a different judge to look at again? Why is it still chopping? The answer to that is not really. He lost the appeal. Texas Supreme Court agreed there was fuckery, but not enough to interest them. So it returned to the trial level. Is that really the situation? He lost the appeal on technicality because Ty fucked up again. Didn't injured. In other words, somebody else answered the question before he noticed. Damn it. This may shock you, but an appeal, even if you win it, almost always goes back to the very same judge who fucked up the case in the first place. This, I think, sounds more accurate than just like the Supreme Court. I mean, both of these can be true at the same time, but it sounds like they were like, well, maybe. Like, if this is true, it doesn't necessarily mean that they would change judges anyways. It's like, oh, there's fuckery. Like, there's not some kind of decision that says, not enough fuckery, keep with the same judge. So, it's just most likely just the legal system just running in a circle. Ralph was right. Nick is a shyster lawyer. Well, they're friends now, though. Ralph didn't mean that. You understand, all of it's kayfabe, none of it's real, right? It's all for show. It's as Bobo would say, for the show. Ralph was right though. Another huge win for the Ralph Mail. As usual. Very sad, very unfortunate. As all of us Ralph A logs also are constantly forced to admit the constant victories that he's having. He's doing so good in these days. I'm cheering him on. You know how I am. I don't like to complain about people. Nick, we lost the case again. this one. Nick is a N-word. Nick is a F slur. Faggot. Oh, I said that one. I could say this, but anyone who watches is like, we finally got. I have so many people false flagging my account all the time. Just all the time. Sue everybody. Didn't prevent Ralph from taking Nick's legal advice to ejaculate and buried corpses in the graveyards. Nick, why did you give him that legal advice? You know what? It must be good, though. It must have been good advice. Honestly, I'm not sure what the best thing for Nick to have done here was. I think I have some advice. First, should have listened to shitty webcomics. Second, don't have any connection to Nick Rekieta or Ty Beard. I mean, you wouldn't have any connection to Ty Beard if you didn't have any connection to Nick Rekieta. There's definitely an element. There's another derail, but there's a huge element of Christians being like, oh, that guy says he's a Christian? Okay, I'm going to do everything he says, and I'm going to trust every word out of his mouth. It's something that ultimately is imploding Christianity as a religion. It's very unfortunate. Christianity should be the dominant, world dominant religion, and this is why Islam is taking over and will make all of us kafirs pay the jizya tax. They even call it jizya. That it's like their description of what the Muslims want to do to us. Very sad, but unrelated. A bunch of Z-tier voice actors doing dub work for anime wanted their own hashtag MeToo movement. Here's one thing, by the way. If Vic didn't do the lawsuit, he would still have a big throng, another good word, throng of public support. He would have, a contingent, better word than throng, for sure. But you would have this huge amount of public support. People would be support. If people just donated the money to Vic and say, here is money, like instead of to a legal fund, it would just be to Vic and be like, here, this is to make up for business you have lost because of getting blacklisted or whatever. And even if it's technically less money, which I'm not really sure it would be, unless he really is a millionaire. But it may be technically less money than he would earn from doing voice work, but it would still be something. Certainly you could live off of $100,000 a year, perhaps even $200,000 a year. At least Vic should be able to. And he's still getting people booking him at some conventions. It's just less. And the people going to those conventions are going there to support him specifically. That's all he needed to do was no lawsuit, none. But the thing about the lawsuit, specifically, the issue with the lawsuit is that the lawsuit was entirely to benefit Nick and Ty. That was it. That was the only reason to ever do a lawsuit. Now, I'm sure some other people, probably on Kiwi Farms, were like, Vic should sue. And those people should have been ignored. And I mean, of all people, Nick, if Nick really is a lawyer, I mean, I know Nick is the worst lawyer probably in the history of lawyers. But even Nick, you'd think, would know and has said in other situations that a defamation lawsuit is usually just a losing game. One of the only defamation lawsuits that has ever won in the history of the human race was the Johnny Depp one. And by the way, a lot of people leave out the fact that Johnny Depp actually had to pay Amber Heard a few $1 million as well. It's just that she ultimately had to pay more, which sort of mathematically places her as the loser. Here, though, this guy continues. Vic drew the short straw. Again, didn't really draw the short straw. He was essentially fucked over. So there is an element of some kind of hopium that, Vic, the worst is over. Vic, got screwed over by other people. There are things that Vic did wrong himself as well. Other people did more wrong to him. But like as the saying now goes, I didn't cost Vic over $300,000. So whatever you want to say about me, I never did that to him. Nick Rekieta did. You can blame the feminists and whatever as well, but ultimately, the feminists were only going to cost Vic like $100,000. It was Nick and Ty Pussy who wanted to try to keep building their YouTube channels and bragging about how much money they were making on super chats, while Vic is sued into the poorhouse. That was the only criteria that really any of them had. Anyways, I honestly think getting good legal and PR representation was a good idea, but if you don't know any good lawyers, it's hard to find one. Vic listened to what he thought was sincere advice from who he thought was a friend. How long had they been friends, by the way? My assumption, and again, this is just me assuming. You know what happens when I assume, but I'm assuming that Nick Rekieta and Vic did not know each other until the accusations. That before Nick was a YouTuber, he didn't know Vic. He was not aware of who Vic even was, most likely. But even if he was aware of who Vic was, they weren't friends. I'm just assuming that. And if I'm right, if it turns out to be true, you now know what happens when I assume things. And in fact, it's proven with facts and evidence now. But hey, again, I'm still assuming. From our perspective, it seemed like this should have been an easy win for Vic. I don't know why you would assume that either. Should have been. Everything should be an easy win for anything, right? That doesn't mean... again, this is just pure hopium. It's like it's kind of the hopium denial. It's like, how did he lose? This should have been it. It's a fucking defamation lawsuit. Pretty much none of them ever win. Because we can easily see the malice and mendacity of the people trying to ruin him. Well, you could easily see the malice and mendacity of Nick Rekieta himself to many, many other people. Most people on Kiwi Farms spent years ignoring that. I know. I was there seeing it. However, since then, I've learned that similar stuff happened to John Lasseter and his entire team at Disney, which ended up costing Disney a lot of money. It happened to other places in Hollywood. Even so, the people who did that still have their jobs. Even though he was lucky enough to end up working over at Skydance, the whole mess in entertainment goes beyond Vic. See, this is, again, it's like, it's bigger than just Vic. Vic is the one thing we need to win so that other people, yeah, we get it. More like Judge Trump. This is a much more insightful comment. How the fuck does money go from 100K to almost 400K? Yeah, shouldn't have appealed, basically. An absurd amount of money. Where do Americans find this? He's ruined, isn't he? This needs, like, the less I fucking response as well or something. I don't know. Understand Ty fucked up the lawsuit, but why is it the same judge? I assume the courts never give a fuck about whether Vic has a case or not in the first place. Hindsight's 2020, but he'd been better off just calling them liars on Twitter and leaving it at that. Yeah, that is partially true, too. It's like, if he just said, hey, they're liars, I'm being lied about, I'm being slandered, so hey, you should help support me or something. Or other people already jumped. He didn't even say, help support me. Other people were jumping in and say, hey, help support him. The actual fans wanted to just support him. It's always the YouTubers who say, support me to help him. Every time that happens, every single time, it's not just a grift. They are disingenuous people. Here's all he had to do is wear the Baldo by the backwards man. He can run backwards as fast as I can. That's pretty good. I'd say appeal costs, but he paid those off. So let's just say Chup did the Chup and leave it at that. Well, in a way, it's like, again, if is that the gamble? How much gambling are you going to support while saying, oh, this lolcow that is an obsessive gambler, he's a real loser, but this other gamble, this one is justified. It's just a gamble. Inflation under Biden. He did that. Fuck Rekieta and Ty. As always follow the collective wisdom to hate lawyers. Yeah, there is a good reason why hundreds and hundreds of years of hating lawyers is traditional in society. This is not a good look. Yeah, that's true. That's also true. Here, I think this will be the last page I cover. They must love their current win. It is sad. Yeah, in the long run, they're going to pay, not in money, in pain. That is the saddest thing, is, again, validating and justifying people who are essentially pathological liars by nature. Monica Marchi, I don't even know really anything about them. I know Monica is a lady broad, therefore liar. Her lips are moving. You know what that means. Can we at least crowdfund some money for him? Lol, no. Yeah, again, that already happened. You saw how that turned out. Both Vic and all of us got wrapped up in Rekieta and Ty's grifting. What do you mean, all of us? People like me and Ominous think Nick's a faggot and Ty's an idiot. I do remember seeing people on Kiwi Farms generally pointing out that Rekieta was no good in any way because of how he was blowing this case. Kind of, as the saying goes, swallowing the red sunglasses from They Live, being awakened, your eyes are open, that kind of thing. To be fair, they have been, voice acting wise, they've been showing up less and less in newer works. I mean, who wants to hire a fucking anime voice actor? Can we just accept that anime voice actors from the 90s are pretty much dog shit across the board, except for like 3 people maybe? I won't say that for Vic, but I mean, I don't give a shit about Dragon Ball Z. They've been showing up less. Their reputations are jokes in the anime community. I'll get them. Even the Japanese have began to notice that their hack job work with dubbing. Vic can't say the same. Here's the thing. I won't say this is hopium in denial or anything, because I can imagine Vic has been getting lots of support. It's true. Even with these fucking disasters, he's still getting lots of support. He's getting a lot of sympathy now, including from people who just hate Rekieta and Ty now. Make the 2 chuckle fucks Tybeard and lolcow rackets pay it. Here though, this one kind of sums up. The current ruling only concerns Marcy and Toyi. Vic still owes the other defendants money outside of the $376K. I think Vic owes around $600,000 altogether. So even if he isn't or even if he is a millionaire, that's just going to take a giant fucking chunk. Here's Captain Manning, a real turncoat. He's turned A-log. I don't recall if he promised that, but I know he promised Vic's mom, blah, blah, blah. Obligatory fuck Tybeard. I feel bad for Vic. What really pissed me off is that fucking Ron Toyi and the Empty Egg crew not only got away with the defamation, but got rewarded for it. Again, yeah, don't, if you've ever supported somebody who allowed that to happen, it's really on you to at least publicly talk about it and criticize them. You should be going into their chats and saying, you fucked up the Vic case, you blew it for him, you're a piece of shit. You take it to him. You were willing to support him, pay money to him. You should take the complaints and the criticisms to them as well. I've already done. In fact, if you want, I already do that. I fucking drive Ricade up the wall very easily and effortlessly on just occasions. Maybe a couple times a year, and just drop a DM to him. So if that's what you want, if you want to see Ricada suffer, I guess I'm doing your job for you. You're welcome, I suppose I can also say. Anyways, here. About to wrap up, though. Great decision for Ty. Plus, Nick got a shitload of super chat money from Vic fans who thought the guy actually wanted to help. So, yeah, here's the thing. Why would you super chat Nick? At all, ever? Why would you super chat somebody on YouTube? You're paying YouTube. You're paying the woke mob at YouTube and Google for what? It's definitely not to fight the woke mob. You're giving them money directly. And yeah, okay, Nick gets a cut, but YouTube is getting a cut. You are paying them. You are a complete moron if you ever thought otherwise for even 1 second. You should be ground up into hamburger and then kick the hamburger. That is personally, maybe that's going a little too far. You know what? I apologize. That's a little harsh. I didn't mean it. I do. I actually do. The Nick got a shitload of super chat money, yeah. Rather than just ride another internet culture war battle to YouTube fame. I mean, that is pretty much all. Don't forget, that is all of them. If you think there's an exception to anyone on YouTube with a monetized channel fighting the culture war, again, you're completely fucking delusional. You are ontologically incorrect, which also makes you ontologically gay. I didn't follow the Vic case. I know he lost. I assume they would just pay their own fees and walk away. How did Vic sue them and owe them some? Again, the fucking the appeal to try to not owe so much made him owe even more. We literally lost the case. Literally. Ty dropped the ball and legitimately deserves to be disbarred, not just for the case itself, but how he handled the aftermath. That being said, I still think Chupp is the chief fuck-up on all this. Very clear he was going to toss the case from the get-go. Yeah, again, there is such a thing as cutting your losses. It's not true. Replying to Not True Darling, welcome to the farms. Anime avatar faggot. That's not nice. Dude is a millionaire. Wait, if Vic is already a millionaire, what's the fucking point of the GoFundMe? That is an interesting. I mean, the GoFundMe, I guess I would say, is to not cut into his actual millionaire money, I guess. But I'm guessing. I'm not assuming. I'm guessing. Huge difference. The question is quite weird given the time, but Null isn't a millionaire and the farms isn't self-sustaining. Why didn't Vic do the normal thing, ask around for defamation experts in Texas? Yeah, that's, that is also kind of hindsight 2020. Also, fuck you, Nick, and fuck you, Ty. Nick, your marriage will crumble this year. This is not a warning. It's just a matter of fact. Be sure the kids don't suffer much. Well, inshallah, I'll say that. If a court says you are wrong, then you are wrong no matter what. Never let it be forgotten that Mr. Tyrannosaurus Kex, the based tread Christian, for some reason needed to tell the world that his IT tech LARPing daughter got knocked up out of wedlock. I think that one was a direct case of main character syndrome, but it would be narcissism and needing to troll shield themselves for their own ego's sake. I shiggity wombat. I don't really know what any of that means. Is there any way for Vic to file suit against Ty for gross? That would be a more justified lawsuit, but probably not going to happen. I don't know. If this guy says probably, I'm going to assume the last thing on Vic's mind is another lawsuit. That's also true. Ye cannot worship both God and Mammon. I don't know about that. Vic isn't paying Monica or Jan. He's paying their shyster lawyers. Does that make it worse or not? Still sucks for Vic. Pay them in pennies and make them pick it up. Throw it on the ground. Suicide. Okay. Just want her. Here's Null showing up. I want to remind everyone the second I saw this on live stream, I called that it was doomed. Did you? Did you say Nick Ricada is fucking worthless and that that he is a bad person? If not, then no, you didn't call anything. You're a nerd. You're a nerd. Support his lawsuit. Support Noel's lawsuit, though. I actually am not necessarily against the idea of Noel or Kiwi Farm suing Epic either, by the way. I hope you know this is also going to be the fate of that litigation suit you guys are doing. Oh, no. I don't know about that personally. That is possible. That's gonna. Well, I mean, I don't think the lawyer's going to fuck it up. So it's clearly a lot of people didn't agree with this. Dumb, mad at the internet, and hopeful or optimistic. The same thing, though. Side effect of being too close to Nick Rekieta, a man of questionable ethics, and a fake lawyer, non-practicing attorney. Hope you know this is going to be the fate. No PFP, fag. No one knows the future, but it will be funny at least. Oh, that's good. I searched for Lost the Case again on Google, and the results are merch for that specific design. The person selling them is one Greg Doucette, though. Smug. Here's damn it, Nick, and then blank. So they can be exploitable. I do still legit believe Vic was wrong, but bro, his counsel shit the bed. No, very, very hard case to bring. Here's all of this is pretty redundant to what everyone else said, except for the fact that it was a hard case to bring. Because again, it's a fucking it is a defamation suit, and also where the guy suing was admitting some guilt. That's kind of just in a way, it shouldn't be self-torpedoing because it should be about being honest, but ultimately, it kind of doesn't matter, I guess. The god of poor people doesn't like it when you tempt misfortune like that. No idea what god all the elite pedophiles worship, but seems far more tolerant of a haughty spirit. I like a good haughty spirit, though. If you're trying to do the right thing, you have to be humble about it. Do you? I don't think so. No, wrong. The biggest... Well, hold a second. What I really mean is... No. The biggest hurdle Vic's case had was getting his legal referral from a non-practicing lawyer. Yeah, that's certainly not good. Cautiously optimistic, Null will avoid stumbling. Yeah, Null does have a better lawyer already, at least. Not Rekieta. That right there, better lawyer. Do not, in response to this is going to happen to the litigation suit, do not care. Still giving $25 to the International Slobbermutt Defense Fund. Edit, fuck Ty Beard, and may he be cast into the outer darkness. What about a nice inner darkness, though? Here again, Captain Manning. I don't care. Shut up. Why are you talking? Oh, yeah, in response to Not True Darling. Why are you talking like anyone should know who you are? Here's, damn it, Nick, get your balls out of there. Ty is going to have a hard time finding new clients. Here's the thing. He doesn't have to, though. The only client he needs is Rekieta, because he handles Rekieta's trust fund. That's guaranteed business right there. So it doesn't matter. Here's a Ty should be censored for this shit. Yeah, I'm sure. Fucking last year you were saying he should never be. He's a good person. Shut up. Or not. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. What did Captain Manning say about it earlier? You know what? I don't know. And who cares? Yeah, that's right. I went there. This is just awful. The worst part is it's not over. Just second to that is that Kick Vic gets to lie about the fact. It's kind of redundant comment here. But, I mean, everyone wants to say what they feel like saying. I understand that. With more distance from the actual event, Ty's conduct becomes more and more mind-boggling. What a fucking joke he was. I mean, it was never not mind-boggling, apparently? Question mark? Just don't know. I'm not going to assume. Is there any chance to appeal, or is this final? What happens if you can't pay? I mean, usually it's just one of those permanent, well, you can't pay, so we're just going to garnish your wages sometimes. I don't know. It is bizarre. It's a bizarre concept. Appeal the judgment amount. Probably not. Was the increased price of the appeal. Yeah. Ty Beer doesn't cut out to flip burgers at McDonald's. Fuck this clown. Holy shit. It's a little harsh. Here, though, Captain Manning here says, how and why he agreed to it. This is not an outright imposition by Chup. It's a settlement. This is his signature right here. It's over, or it will be soon, as he'll ostensibly do one for Marchi and Funimation next. So yeah, it's I hope there's justice for him one day soon. Again, a lot of hopium. Whenever Vic does decide to sue Ty D. Bull, I know a far more competent lawyer that can handle the case. Rosenberg, the bonkers ambulance, Chisa. That guy could defend an innocent man all the way to death row. Anyways, Null is dumb enough to hire Ty Beard. Fuck off, faggot, lol. Holy shit. Ty strikes me as a person who couldn't admit his fuck-ups I mean, no kidding. Starting to think Ty planned to fuck over Vic from the start. I don't think it's a plan. I think it was just indifference. But also, most likely, a sort of a conversion disorder. Ty will actually convince himself that, yes, he very much cared about Vic. And then in practice, that's entirely possible. And in fact, it's quite common, upsettingly common, perhaps you could say, is that a lot of people think they're doing one thing as they do the exact opposite. So that I think that'll kind of sum things up here. Choyat saying, side note, look forward to the day when words names finally get straightened out, corrected. Liberals equals degen weasels and anti-America enablers. Yeah, perhaps. Vic had a difficult path to winning, but losing the anti-slap verdict and having to pay was Ty Beard's fault. Well, I mean, a lot of things were clearly Ty Beard's fault, which is also Nick's fault. They should definitely get more than just blame, that's for sure. Again, I never cost Vic over $300,000. I never cost him $100,000. I never cost him $1. Nick Rekieta did, and if you supported Nick Rekieta, you are responsible for that as well. You need to kind of take responsibility for that. I certainly don't have to, because I never did any of that shit. And I never went after Vic. I never said Vic is guilty or anything like that. Never campaigned, never told people that Vic should lose the lawsuit. I always thought Vic should win a defamation lawsuit. He should have his business. He should be getting booked at conventions, which he still technically is getting some. But it's stuff like Anime Matsuri, where people are going to literally be catfished by dudes to have gay sex with dudes. It's where gay YouTubers are going to have sex with dudes while pretending to be dudes on the internet. Or they're pretending to be dudes on the internet on their YouTube channels while having sex with guys who are pretending to be girls on the internet. Of those YouTubers, they're not even real men. They will never be a man because they're gay. How are Null's chances of his own case? I really don't know. And again, just like the same thing with Vic, I generally support the idea of the Kiwi Farms lawsuit, of Kiwi Farms suing, anyways. Have a vague recollection it wasn't just the late filing on Ty's part. Yeah, there most likely it was. That certainly was a big blunder, a big whoopsie daisy, whatever the fuck. But it was clearly more than just that. Pretty sure there was something else that happened in court where Ty's lack of prep attitude one day effed things up with a judge. Yeah, I think that's another thing. Like I was saying with the Kiwi Farm stuff, the people are generally blaming the judge for probably having some bias, but don't be surprised if it wasn't really the judge's fault. If it's just people on Kiwi Farms being like, yeah, fuck that judge, and the judge didn't do anything wrong. That's always possible. I don't know, though. I'm not assuming about that. I'm just saying that could be a possibility, because you know how it is. Not just with Kiwi Farms. That's not a fault with Kiwi Farms. That's a fault with people. People in general, the overall, the royal we, something like that, where people will block out the unfortunate facts. Like it is entirely possible that Ty did all sorts of incredibly stupid shit to the judge, and the judge was like, you know what? you deserve to lose this. Ty, you deserve to lose this. Who are you representing? Well, then he's going to lose too because of you. That's entirely possible that the judge did that. It's entirely possible the judge was justified in doing that. Although that doesn't seem like something that should be justified. But when you have truly seen beyond the beyond with, but I mean, when you notice the actual personality and behavior of people like Nick Rekieta and Ty, when you realize that they're, again, they could defend an innocent man all the way to death row, but most likely will just be an asshole to the judge just because they think, like, so many people are like, oh, you shouldn't be so smug all the time, and then go and support Nick Rekieta and fucking Pussy Beard. And it's like, maybe you need to take your own advice, stop throwing rocks and glass place for plants, houses, that kind of shit. That's just my personal opinion, though. But I'm right. Take care, Chuyat. Apparently women are bad and stuff. Everything they say is a lie. Good grief. That's true. You know what? You make a good point there. Women are bad. And everything they say is a lie. Never donated even in chat. I figured my presence was enough. I mean, here's the thing, is that if you're watching their streams, they're getting ad revenue from you as well. Starting to be Ethan Van Sciver's turn. If only Ethan Van Sciver could. Nick needs to convince Ethan to get into a lawsuit. Liam Gray also seems to have reached visibility with Medicare. Oh yeah, I did see that. In fact, I mentioned that on the thing on Discord, also on the stream. The Liam Gray thing. Liam Gray, to be honest, probably more entertaining than any of us. The true king of Comicscape, perhaps the true king of comics. It's gotten to the point where John Del Rose doesn't even have anything else to say about anything, so he just is constantly streaming about Liam Gray. And the fact is, Liam Gray is more interesting than John Del Rose. And John Del Rose knows that. That's why he's just constantly obsessing over Liam Gray. That is actual A-logging going on. But also Liam Gray is one as well, even including of us. So that's so there's that. We probably have the most A-logs out of anyone in the history of the internet, even more than Chris Chan, which I guess that's good. That's a good thing. That's pretty cool. So let me check my watch. It's almost 7. So in a half hour movie night, the beginning movie night of Black History Month. Watermelon Man. Well, I guess we'll see how that is. I have a feeling it's not actually going to be that good. Maybe the other movie. I forgot what the other movie is, but it's linked on our Discord. So if you want to hang out, watch a movie. You don't even have to be signed in. You can be completely anon lurking for the movie night thing. You do have to have an account on Discord to be on Discord, but still, it is handy. It's helpful. The Vic thing, it is unfortunate. But we were warning people, and not because not out of some kind of self-aggrandizing thing. Not because like we're right all the time, but because we have actually we prove the things that we say. And one of the things that people hate the most is evidence. We're in fact living proof of that as well. People get so angry about even like just pointing out anything about an e-celeb that they don't want to hear. It's like you've raped their mom at knife point in front of them or something. They go into a grief spiral. I've seen that happen many, many times, including with Rekieta. Like, Rekieta himself is such a coward. He would hide behind his fan base every single time. If I even said something in private about him, by in private, I mean, like, I would say something on our Discord, and then one of his fans would be spying on our Discord, screen cap it, post it to him. The same thing happened with Tug, where Tug would post screen caps of our Discord. There are a bunch of people on our Discord spying. If you want to join our Discord and spy on us and screen cap stuff to send to Tug, which, by the way, we fully encouraged. Every time he would post something, Tug would have me blocked, post a screen cap of me saying something, making fun of him on our Discord. And I would just laugh about it because, like, well, gee, thanks. You don't even need to block. What's the point of blocking me? So that's, again, the entire circle of these people. It's always the same thing. Why did you ever trust them? That's entirely your fault. If you want to know better, listen to us, subscribe, perhaps become PayPal. You don't have to donate to us in any way. You could just watch the videos, but, you will be 5 years ahead of Kiwi Farms, objectively. We've actually measured it. Stuff we were right about, Kiwi Farms was dead wrong about for years and years until like 4 or 5 years later. We've actually shown it. We've shown the receipts. We quantified it, measured it. So if you want to be ahead of Kiwi Farms, check us out, watch videos. If you find the videos annoying or enraging, that is the weak part of you trying to keep you weak. If you have ever gotten mad at us, there is a genetic inferiority. Cleanse that. You have a disease, cure it with your mind by listening to the truth that your body, the gayness in your body doesn't want you to hear. So become a human again, retain your soul, regain your soul, and see into the mind of God by subscribing to us, and also you might as well just become pig. But also join us on movie night in a few minutes. Linked. It won't. I could link it below, I guess. Maybe I should do that. Wow, I love it. And you can even bookmark the link every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. EST movie night. It's a fun time. Everyone has fun. So thanks again, everyone, hanging out in the chat.
You come in here with balls?
We're able to do these streams
Because of people like you!
Oh, wait. Because of people like you. Okay. And for everyone else, as usual, and as proven many thousands of times, should have listened to shitty webcomics. Ugh.